We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
Okay, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Kodash, which is to say, all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father in the ancient Hebrew, whose name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son's name is Yahushai. All right, he the deliverer, who's going to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel in this coming destruction, all right, that's imminent on Babylon the Great. All right, and double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, it's the brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson. All right, so we're going to go live, all right, through the Spirit, and Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. We're going to go straight to the point. All right, now, the video you just saw, all right, is a man named Klaus Schwab, and we're going to play back real quick. All right, and we're going to go into the topic of today. All right, so check it out.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
All right, so potential cyber pandemic. Okay, now this guy here we just heard is the man named Klaus Schwab. Okay, and he's basically the head of the organization known as the World Economic Forum. Okay, now the World Economic Forum in recent years has become, basically has taken center stage in current events and things that are yet to happen in the very near future. Okay, basically ushering in this new world order, otherwise known as the Beast System. Okay, and it's all being done and pushed through technology. Now, in order for them to get to that point, meaning to gather the whole entire world to fall underneath this banner, all right, they have to do certain things, all right, which we've been going into many times over the years, going into problem, reaction, solution, all right, the Hegelian dialectic, and so on and so forth. Okay, now the biggest thing that they're gonna always use is ordo ab chaos. All right, ordo ab chaos is basically creating chaos and then using that as an excuse to bring in new measures to stabilize society once again. Okay, and everyone who's you've been paying attention, you're tuning in, all right, you know this type of stuff. You know this stuff is nothing new to you. All right, but it's also prophesied in the scriptures that in these last days, all right, these devils are going to make themselves known. Okay, because the revelation is happening by way of the Lord's mouth, which are the prophets. Okay, so as we're revealing them, they're also revealing themselves. Okay, by the ways of the things that they're doing, the things that they're saying, all right, and so on and so forth. Now let's get this quick precept here, and then we're going to go into the next so-called demic that they have planned. Okay, now I got a video earlier which I might post. I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do it through my computer, but I'm going to do it from my phone later on and then post it. All right, basically Google is I believe next month, February, they're going to be updating their TOS, which is terms of service. Okay, and within that terms of service, they're going to be basically ushering in the family of the word incrementally. Okay, I say this because they'll be putting stops to any form of information that is deemed sensitive, okay, to whatever topic that may be at that time. All right, so the guy who is revealing this information, he has an insider who works for Google, okay, and they were, he's sharing information and saying that, hey, starting next month, get ready because they're going to update their terms of service / terms of agreement. All right, and basically they're going to be wiping out any information that goes against whatever given narrative that may be coming down the pike very soon. All right, now keep in mind that in May of this year, 2024, the Houdat, all right, they're going to be having another meeting where they're going to be voting on this so-called Demic Accord Treaty. Okay, so everything is basically lining up for a chaotic. You got April, May, June, that kind of place. All right, those kind of months. All right, they're definitely going to be starting shit up. Okay, as the summer comes around and the weather starts warming up, all right, that's when they start pushing their weird draconian measures. Okay, now they can't just come around and just start pushing measures. They have to have a reason. That's where the emergencies come in. Okay, so let's get this quick precept here. All right, start off with the book of Psalm, chapter 64. All right, start off at verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Okay, so we, the elect, the hopeful elect, all right, this is the prayer that we pray and send to the Heavenly Father. All right, we've been doing this since the time of Egypt. All right, because it was the elect who cried unto Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, all right, that sent him to send Moses to come deliver us out of bondage. All right, that's the same energy, the same spirit that's being pushed out there as we are in, of course, in modern day Egypt. Okay, so verse 2, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, now when you go into that word insurrection, let's look it up real quick. All right, let's see. Insurrection. All right, because that same word, insurrection, is synonymous with basically sedition. Okay, it says insurrection is an uprising against civil authority. Okay, so ultimately they have uprising against who? Against Jacob, really the elect. All right, they have an issue with the elect, starting with the prophets, because we're bringing out the truth and exposing, all right, their system and their lies. Okay, and that's putting up a huge monkey wrench in their plans, because they even mention it. All right, that they mentioned that from past experiences, the most important thing they have to control is the flow of information. Okay, and that's why Google is going to be doing their terms and agreements and all kinds of different shit. And it's not just Google. All right, Google is just the first step. All right, YouTube is partnered with Google, so whatever Google comes down with is also going to affect YouTube. All right, which is our main platform to push this word out. All right, so now we're going to be looking at the famine of the word. Okay, quite literally. Okay, you have social media platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter. I call it Twitter. I can't call it X. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so Twitter is also going to be taking measures to quell so-called anti-Semitism, misinformation, medical misinformation, whatever you want to call it. They have their own terms, and they're going to be using certain measures to stop people from engaging in certain conversations that they don't want to see happening online. All right. So an uprising against civil authority. All right. It says a rising up. Okay. A rising up in what? In evil. Okay. Because who's doing this? It says, hide me from the secret counsel, all right, of the wicked. That's where you have these meetings. All right. You have the Bohemian Grove. You have the Bilderberg meeting. And now you have meetings like Davos. Okay. Which no one is allowed to go into these so-called meetings except for these stakeholders, so-called. Right. You got a guy like Albert Bourla, who's just the CEO of so-called Pfizer, right? He's going to be there at all times, right? Because he plays a very pivotal role in their number one agenda, which is depopulation. Okay, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, and who are the ones who are at the forefront of working iniquity? Esau, Edom. Okay, now you have a face, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, and so on and so forth. Okay, it says, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Okay? That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, right? They commune of laying snares privately. So every single meeting that these devils hold is always for something later down the line. Okay, and whatever crisis is about to happen next, whether it be via the banking sector, all right, meaning the economy, whether it be the health sector, okay, or whether it be anything cyber related or whatever it is, these devils are behind it because they have a reason, okay, and we're going to read about that, okay. So it says, they say, who shall see them, right? That is why the prophets are a problem for these devils, because we see them, okay. In their minds, oh, we can put it on in plain sight and no one is going to notice. But the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has opened up our minds and our spirits to be able to discern, okay, not only to know what's going on, but to also put the pieces together and to push that word out, okay. Hence, we are the watchmen, all right. The modern day watchmen, what do? We're paying attention to the modern day articles that are coming out, okay. We're listening to these devils in their meetings. What kind of conversations are they having during their meetings, right? Every speech that they give, they put something out that the average person will never notice or understand, okay. You have this guy, Noah Harari, who comes out and talks about the importance of people transitioning from eating regular food to lab grown shit and eating bugs and all these different things that they're pushing out there. And the average person looks at it and says, oh, there's nothing wrong with this. You know, oh, how can you say that eating bugs is bad if you've never had it before? You have people like that. All right. I mean, don't forget, we're in Babylon the Great. All right. So anything that's set to make confusion or to bring about any type of disarray or chaos is what these people uphold. Right. Scriptures tell you that what folly is set in great dignity. That's America the Great, Babylon the Great. Okay. The epitome of folly. All right. As you've seen in recent years, since 2020, all you've seen through social media is just bullshit and folly, man. All right. And that's why a lot of people are going to get caught off guard. They're not going to see all these things that we do to show the world, hey, the watchmen are telling you we could see things far, far away. And we're telling you, hey, prepare, because the danger is coming and is fast approaching, but they're not going to pay attention. All right. And that's why the Lord's going to destroy them. Okay. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Right. So every so-called research that they've done is called a diligent search. Okay, they've researched anything and everything you could think about. These devils understand how it works, and then they're able to manipulate it so they can use it for an evil purpose. Right. So it says they search out iniquities. That's where your so-called scientists and your doctors and your physicists and all these different people, so-called experts, come into play. Right? They accomplish a diligent search, right? It may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may take a decade, right? But either way, they're still going to do their research. Okay, they've researched how, a sperm can go into an egg, right? And then fertilize it, and then after 9 to 10 months, it becomes a baby. The whole process of those months, how do you think they were able to gather that information? And to get it so accurately, how were they able to do that? Do you know how many people they had to use as experiments? Right? They look at how the brain works. How do you think they were able to do that? You think they just look at people's brains and be like, oh, this works this way and this works that way? No. They have to cut people open. They have to do all kinds of different research, man. You know, if they're going to do a test, let's say they have, they want to do a test on coffee, right? They'll get a whole bunch of people and say, hey, we'll pay you this amount of money. You're going to be using you as a test, right? You're going to drink coffee for 2 weeks straight, different types of coffee, and then we'll see how it reacts in your body, right? You're going to be compensated for that. Now, some of these experiments, right, that they do, sometimes it's fatal. Sometimes you just never go back, but you got to sign off on that, hey, in case this goes wrong, you know what I'm saying, or I end up catching some disease or I die or whatever, I signed off on that. And they'll give you a nice little check. You know what I'm saying? But these are the kind of things that these devils do and get into, and it's all for sinister purposes. Okay, they're not doing cancer research to help people who may have cancer. No, they're doing cancer research to find out what is the treatment for this shit and how can we withhold it from people so that we can keep making more money off of them. You see, that's the whole trick. It says, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay? Deep in the sense of what? Let's go into that word deep real quick. Okay, let's see here. I believe the word there is, let's see, amak or amawak, amak. And it says deep, mysterious, all right, the mystery of iniquity, right, unsearchable, okay, unsearchable. So the things that these devils go into, most people wouldn't even think to go into that, right? But it's the Heavenly Father who put that in their minds to do this in the first place, okay, so they can fulfill their lot as being the wicked. Okay, all these things that the Lord said that these devils are doing, they are going to do because they have to show the world that yes, the Bible called us the wicked and you believed us, so hey, you know what I'm saying? It says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. Okay, it tells you that in the book of Job, all right, talks about that the Lord is going to what? Is going to basically destroy their enterprise. Okay, their plans, all right, Job 20, I believe 22, Job 20 verse 22. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Okay, that the Lord is going to what? He's going to put a stop, all right, in their plans. Okay, and that's why we speak so boldly, because we understand that these devils not going to accomplish that new world order. Okay, at least to where they think they're going to get. You know, they will fulfill prophecy, but that's as far as it goes. Okay, because part of fulfilling prophecy is for them to be destroyed. Okay, the son of perdition, all right, meaning the son of destruction, right? So the book of Job chapter 20 verse 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, meaning in a hard place, all right? So again, whenever they're doing these so-called experiments, they themselves tell you that they don't really know how it could play out, but this is the best that they can do. You see, so whatever they're doing, they themselves don't even know how it may play out. You see, that is why public opinion is very important to them, because if you lose the trust of the public, you're done. You're finished. It's over with. You see, and that's why the prophets play a very, very pivotal role in prophecy, okay, and also in their plans, right? It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating, okay? He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. All right. So again, they're here, right here. This is the stage in prophecy right now. Okay, they're in the fullness of their sufficiency. So very soon, the next step is going to be ushering in the UBI. All right, because I remember it was a couple of days ago. So I saw an article. Lord willing, I might do a separate video on that, depending on how the spirit works. But I saw an article that says, damn, what country was it? I want to say the Philippines or some country, and they were saying that they've already started incorporating the UBI. You know what I'm saying? I believe China also, if I'm not mistaken, right? That people are already using the UBI. You know, you have money sent to your account on your phone. You know, you see $200 right there in your account, and you got to use that shit for that week. You know what I'm saying? And then it's broken down to how much you can use for clothing, how much you can use for food, how much you can use for travel, and all kinds of different things. And these things are all based on your social status, right? Your social media status and what you actually do in real life. You know, is it in line with the government or not, right? These things are all going to play a role in your ability to basically survive in this society. All right, so let's jump into the next thing, all right, which is going to be their next agenda, known as Disease X. Okay, and I believe the priest Amuan Gabar, all right, did a video on this. I'm not sure if he went through the same article, all right, but regardless, let's get through it. Okay, it says Disease X was rehearsed at Clade X. Are we about to see a new demic? Right, and just like CV, they had a whole rehearsal, event 201. Okay, the same thing is happening again. This time it's called Clade X, all right, for so-called Disease X. All right, it says we're hearing that UK scientists have begun developing Vanessas as in quote insurance against a new demic caused by an unknown disease X. Now it's funny how they're developing something that they don't even know, right? It's kind of It's kind of funny how you can kind of like set yourself up like that. So you're developing Vanessa's as an insurance against a new demic by an unknown disease X. So it's unknown, but we're just gonna develop something to be proactive. Right, right, right. It says in the same way as CV-19 was rehearsed at Event 201, it would seem that disease X was also rehearsed at Clade X. Could it be that we are being prepared for a new demic? Well, uh, Kill Bates already said that, right? He already said it back in, was it 2020? He said, "Oh, the next one is gonna get their attention," right? Listen to this. There's another one right here. All right, WEF and Hudat threaten disease X, the final push for the Demic Treaty, and Bill Gates. All right, final solution. All right, final. That word final. Okay. It says the state of the art Vanessa Research Facility. Um, I haven't read this article, so we got to be very careful with certain words so we don't trigger the algorithm. All right. It says the scientists are at the government's high security state of the art Vanessa Research Facility, Porton Down Laboratory Complex near Salisbury, Wiltshire, which is run by the UK Health Security Agency, who have drawn up what they say are, quote, a threat list of animal viruses that are capable of infecting humans, end quote. All right, so remember that precept back in Psalm, the 64th chapter, all right, that they do a diligent search. So we're not going to put it past them that they're actually, doing tests like this, animal viruses, all right, that can potentially infect humans, right? A couple of weeks ago, you were hearing that they were saying that there's this zombie, deer zombie virus or whatever, and that can literally be transferred to people. So we got to pay attention to that, right? So let's continue. It says, uh, so this is where they do their witchcraft. It says the Independent also reported that scientists will work to ensure future demics are stopped in their tracks and do not cause the same disruption to everyday life as CV-19. However, it is also hoped the facility will help the UK tackle disease X by enhancing preparedness for yet to be identified pathogens with demic potential. All right. So as we read earlier, as we watched earlier by our friend over there, Mr. Klaus Schwab's, all right, what did he say? He said you must prepare for something that's even going to be greater than the CV. All right. He said a comprehensive cyber attack. He also mentioned black swan events. All right. So if you couple a cyber attack, so-called disease X, all right, the economy, everything just all at once, it makes sense why he's saying that it's gonna make CV look like a walk in the park, right? So basically, everything is going down. Okay, they have to. It's a global systematic reset. So everything has to be reset. You see, everything you can think of has to be reset. All right, and it's not going to be a reset where it's like, oh, okay, we're going to transition as time goes on. No, it's a reset as in we're changing everything off the top, off the bat. And anyone who's not with it, they got to go. All right, that's their mindset. Okay, they don't have much time. It says the UK HSA preparing in advance. Yet they seem to know that the unidentified virus could, quote, spread rapidly around the world in the future. We're being told that, quote, they have no idea as to which one of them will break through and trigger the next demic, which is why it's referred to only as disease X, according to Sky News. Professor Dame Jenny Harries, the head of the UK Health Security Agency from CV fame, told Sky News, quote, what we're trying to do here is to ensure that we prepare so that if we have a new disease X, a new pathogen, we have done as much of that work in advance as possible. Now, who in their right mind sits around discussing shit like this? After what happened in 2020, you mean to tell me that you can't do anything else but sit around and talk about, well, let's prepare for the next thing. It's almost as if you know that there's going to be the next thing. It's not a if, it's a when. at this point, right? Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. Oh, these people. So continuing says, she adds, hopefully we can prevent it. Endemic, of course, right? Hopefully. But if we can't, and we have to respond, then we have already started developing Vanessas and therapeutics to crack it. Now, who's to say that this so-called disease X that we clearly they say that they don't have any idea what it is or what it could be or whatever it is. But yet again, like I said, you're developing therapeutics and Vanessas for something that you don't know how it's going to play out. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But even in their simulation, right, their rehearsal, they said it that it might take a year to develop a Vanessa. And one of the guys straight up said, "Oh no, a year is too long. It's too far out. We need to do something that's gonna shorten that gap. We don't got a year, you know." As a tabletop exercise, it says we all know that CV had a rehearsal within the tabletop exercise named Eventual Wandemic Exercise. We talked about that. The exercise was conducted by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in partnership with the World Economic Forum back in 2019. Well, Disease X2 was rehearsed, and even before that, this time the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security hosted the Clade X Demic tabletop exercise in on May 15, 2018 in Washington, D.C. At the Clade X event, the U.S. National Security Advisor, NSA, assembled a team of top advisors to discuss the mysterious illness emerging in Germany and Venezuela. Okay, so let's keep those countries in mind because they could very well just use those same countries or they could switch it up, but they just use the same exact model that they came up with during the rehearsal. All right, there is no reason for you to rehearse something unless you're going to actually perform it very soon. That's what rehearsals are for. Okay, so it says the purpose, according to the Center for Health Security, the Center for Health Security claimed that purpose of the exercise was to quote to illustrate high-level strategic decisions and policies that the United States and the world will need to pursue in order to prevent a demic or diminish its consequences should prevention fail. Adding that, quote, faced with a rapidly evolving biological threat landscape, government leaders in the United States and abroad are eager to identify long-term policy commitments. You hear that? Long-term policy. Long-term policy. Okay? Commitments that will strengthen preparedness and mitigate risk. This sounds exactly like what they were doing back in 2020. Okay? And it wasn't fun. All right, because people quickly found out that all this safe and effective, protect your loved ones and all this bullshit was just a facade. Okay? It was just a facade to bring in the so-called new normal. All right? You know, Americans don't really think anyway, so it makes sense why the government had to do all the thinking for them. All right? You're just herding sheep straight to the slaughter. All right, it says Clade X is said to have, quote, illustrated high-level strategic decisions and policies needed to prevent a severe demic or diminish its consequences should prevention fail, and will educate senior leaders at the highest level of the U.S. government, as well. And that's a problem right there, right? Thinking about it, that's a problem because the U.S. government is actually the enemy of the people, and the people are the enemy of the government. They say that. They straight up say it. They tell you who's the enemy of the state? The American government, the American people. Okay? It says, as well as members of the global policy and preparedness community and the general public. There you go. The general public comes last because these entities work together to control the general public. Okay? It says the organizers claim that, quote, in addition, exercises like Clade X are a particularly effective way to help policymakers gain a fuller understanding of the urgent challenges they could face in a dynamic real-world crisis. Okay? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy and amazing how these devils could sit around and go through something that, you know, we don't have we have no idea how this thing is going to happen or how it works, but we're prepared for it. You know, in case it happens, when it happens, we're going to be prepared for it. But you don't know. You don't know how it's going to play out. So how do you prepare for something you don't know how it's going to play out? You see? And it's so detailed. I mean, when you look at the simulation, it's so detailed. I mean, they have the secretary of this, a DOD. I mean, they mentioning real life agencies that are going to play a role in whatever is coming next. They're using real life countries. You know what I'm saying? They're using real life scenarios. They're talking about it happens in an election year, you know, all kinds of different shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You know? So get ready, right? It says Clade X simulation. The Clade X simulated demic went like this. Patience. So let's read this carefully, okay? Because this could very well be exactly the playbook that they're gonna use in the next coming months. All right. Remember, the Hudat will be signing off on that One Accord Treaty in May. They have to be justified in as to why all these nations have to give straight up autonomy to the Hudat to call the shots in a time of a public health emergency of international concern. Okay, once you hear those words from the director of the Hudat, it's a wrap. Okay, it's a wrap. All right, that's where you're gonna have the Stafford Act come in. That's where FEMA starts rolling in. All right, we're gonna touch into all that another time, but let's finish this. It says patients, including U.S. military members, were showing up at the hospital in Landstuhl with fever, cough, and confusion. Babylon. All right, fever, cough, and confusion. The fuck does that even mean? That confusion is a disease now? Like, how do you fever and cough and confusion? Hmm. Anyway, it says some patients were ending up on respirators. Others fell into comas. Initially, it looked like a viral encephalitis, but it soon became clear this virus was something new and lethal. Right? That's where you're gonna have the novel. Oh, novel this, novel that means new, right? It had the ability to be transmitted from person to person through the air. Uh-oh. So there's gonna be restrictions. The masks are gonna be coming back because of this. You see? What else is gonna be coming back? Contact tracing will be coming back at a whole nother level. Okay. Restriction in terms of travel is gonna be coming back at a whole nother level as well. Okay. Uh, Constant testing. Okay, because again, this thing is going through the air. You can't see it, but it's there. You see, so that it's a good enough catalyst to bring about all these draconian measures, like they show you in the movie Songbird, where soon, you know, when you go outside, when you come back in, you have to disinfect your clothing, all kinds of different shit, just so you're safe. You see, it says a 5 to 7 day incubation period. Interesting. You might have to go back to that 5 to 7 day incubation period. So the CV, you had to quarantine for what? Was it 12 days, 14 days, or some shit? I think it was 12 days. But this one, which is much more lethal than the CV, you got to quarantine for only 5 to 7 days. All right. It says, and it's a high fatality rate. Okay, high fatality rate means a lot more people are dying from this thing. Okay, by May 1st, May 1st, the virus had spread to Venezuela. And while Germany's health system moved fast to isolate the sick and track exposures, you see, the authorities in Venezuela reacted much differently, denying the outbreak. Hundreds of people soon swamped ERs. The U.S. Coast Guard reported seeing boats of sick refugees from Venezuela approaching Puerto Rico. See, the borders are open for a reason. All right, they're setting something up. All right, it says by May 2nd, damn, the next day, the culprit had been identified. Parainfluenza, slack. Parainfluenza, it says human parainfluenza viruses, as the CDC explains, right? CDC stands for Center for Disease Control, right? So the diseases, they have a center that they have a center that controls diseases. Okay, it's literally a place that they have, okay, that they have scientists, they have doctors, they have all kinds of different people that come in there and fuck around with shit, you know, test different things and all kinds of different things to come up with different things. All right, again, going into that diligent search. Okay, the iniquity. It says the human parainfluenza viruses are, as the CDC explains, are different than influenza viruses. Although, yo, although they also can cause respiratory infections, and the flu Vanessa does not protect against HPIV infections. There you go. Meanwhile, they're pushing everyone to go get this damn flu Vanessa. But yeah, it doesn't protect against this. So that means they got to come up with something that's going to protect against this. The human parainfluenza virus, right? It says the mystery virus with no known antivirals, no licensed Vanessa against it. Licensed? Interesting word. And endemic potential got a name, Clade X. The simulation aimed to spur US officials and researchers to think through challenging scenarios and questions before the next health emergency strikes. Wow. Almost like it's certain that it's going to happen. Mhm. It says, writes the Global Health Now org, who ask, quote, for instance, should the US cave to public pressure and issue travel bans and quarantines when a workable Vanessa is likely 1 year away? No rapid diagnostic tests exist and other countries shut down travel? Ooh, interesting. The assembled experts quickly mapped out the case against travel bans. Junie Gerberding, uh, I'm guessing that's medical doctor, MPH, playing the role of the CDC director, a role she held in real life from 2002 to 2009. Uh-huh. Interesting. Pointed out that Frankfurt Frankfurt is a major airport hub, so banning just one leg of the journey wouldn't work. Oh. Travel bans, she explained, are simply, quote, not effective, impractical, and potentially harmful. Okay, well, but then the thing is going to spread then, though, right? So it's a nice tactic to use. Now, it's very interesting that they're using Germany because I believe right now you have, I think it's Germany and Poland, if I'm not mistaken. Those countries are having some major protests. All right, the people are not fucking with the whole flow of how the government is moving right now. So there's a lot of protests that's going on out there in different parts of northwestern Asia, known as Europe. All right, so let's read. It says by June 1st, so exactly 1 month after, May to June, the FBI learned that a splinter group of an international organization focused on overpopulation, a brighter dawn, was behind the attacks. What attacks? One member of the group, a parainfluenza researcher from the US, could not be located. That's very interesting. What attacks are they talking about? It says, with the knowledge that terrorism was behind the outbreaks, wow, terrorism, okay. A severe a severe endemic looked possible by mid-June 2018. Well, we could put it as mid-June 2024. All right. It says with no pre-existing immunity, modeling suggested a possibility of zero point 0.5 to 2 million US deaths over the next year and more than 50 million globally. Okay. This is in the US, the virus had spread to nearly half of the states, with nearly 60,000 cases and 3,500 deaths, overwhelming TD Jakes, overwhelming hospitals and straining the supply of surgical masks and respirators. The CDC began encouraging telework and social distancing. You hear? So all that shit that they did is all coming back. Okay? It's almost like the first one they did was a test because was it 2 days ago or so? There's a lot of word information that came out that this guy Fauci admitted that the whole 6 feet, stand apart and wear masks, all that bullshit, was not scientifically backed, and we knew that, and we told the world that, we said that shit, that there is no proof behind this. Again, they never bring out proof. They just go about talking about we believe this and we think this and we feel this, you know. We believe, and it's believed that, there ain't no facts behind anything that they say. Okay, there's no proof to back up anything that they say or do. Okay, it's just make believe filled with a whole bunch of coercion and propaganda. That's it. Okay, it says including school closures and cancellations of public gatherings. There you go. So it has to be right in time for the summer, where a lot of people want to go out, you want to go to the beach, or you want to do your barbecue with your families, that kind of thing. It says multiple states deployed National Guard to provide security at pharmacies and hospitals. Interesting, right? Globally, the probable and confirmed cases totaled over 8.7 million, with over 3.1 million deaths. It's a lot. It's a lot of people. Okay, that's a lot of people, man. All right, 3.1 million. Shit. It says amid high transmission in megacities, some countries deployed military to keep order and secure borders. Widespread looting in some countries led to violent government crackdowns. Violent government crackdowns. Okay? Violent government crackdowns. What does that sound like? Let's see if we can get this one real quick. What does that sound like? Sounds like to me. Sounded to me like. Right? Revelation 12 and 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, cracking down with violence, having great wrath, cracking down with violence, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, right? And the people are stalling. You're resisting, you're questioning, you're looking up things, right? You're researching, quote unquote, right? You listen to the prophets, you're questioning, you're doing things that's opposing their their agenda. That's a problem. That's why they're going to what? It's going to lead to what? Violent government crackdowns. Okay, meaning the military is going to get involved, and of course here in America you're going to have the robot dogs play a huge role. All right, especially in these so-called inner cities. All right, and, like the dream that I had a couple of days ago, that was what was happening. You had the inner cities especially that had electricity was there in certain parts, and other parts was all pitch black, and all you see is just like fire, just like mayhem. You know, people fighting against each other. People fighting against their military governments and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. You know, but the Lord is always going to deliver His elect. All right, it says a catastrophic outcome seemed likely unless a Vanessa could be deployed soon. One American-made Vanessa candidate looked promising, with estimates indicating that enough Vanessa could be produced for 80% of the U.S. population in 6 to 9 months. You get that? The National Security Council advisors began to consider how to best allocate limited Vanessa to Americans. Should they prioritize those with value to others? Healthcare workers, scientists working on the Vanessa, the military, and key government officials, well, they wouldn't put them out there first. They'll give them a placebo assumption. But again, it's all to bait the rest of the people to come get it. It's to cause that spirit of desperation. Oh my God! Oh, we need to go first. No, 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 no. It doesn't work that way. You see, and that's what's gonna bring up that hunger, all right, to put yourself out there so you can think that you can be cured. Oh my God! Look at all these people that had 3.1 million deaths. And it's all gonna be in the media. They're gonna be running that shit 24/7, everywhere you go. So people are gonna actually believe this shit. Yeah, and that's all they need is to generate that fear. All right, and once that fear is generated enough to a certain degree, whatever they tell you to do, you're gonna do because you're thinking they're here to help you. That's the whole goal that they're trying to achieve, right? Public opinion. It says, are those most likely to benefit, like children and pregnant women, or should they opt for a lottery, giving everyone an equal chance? Wow. This is by the end of the exercise, the much anticipated first Vanessa flopped. And although a Vanessa candidate emerged and Clade X did eventually burn out, it brought the entire world to its knees first. That sounds familiar. Interesting, right? And then they have a whole bunch of videos here about the simulation, right? Clade X segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. God damn, it got 4 segments. All right. Okay. I think the article is almost finished, so let's wrap it up here. It says not a real virus again. The underlying storyline is all too plausible. And that's what we said earlier, right? It's too realistic. They're using way too many real life scenarios to pitch something that's supposed to be a fictional, rehearsal, so called, right? Say the Global Health Now org or organization, the advisors, a distinguished cast of ex officials with plenty of real world experience in their adopted roles, grappled with critical dilemmas, while intermittent mock newscasts delivered steadily worsening news about the outbreak. Thankfully, Clade X is not real, and this was a mock demic, they say. Ah, yes, we are aware of that, and we are aware of that. That we were aware of that the last time, but look where that still got us, right? So that's exactly why the Lord sent His prophets out to give that warning. Okay, that yeah, we seen things coming, right? We seen it far, far in the future, right, or far away, but it's fast approaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's gonna be quite overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? If you don't take heed and get prepared, all right. And we're talking spiritually at this point. There's no, like, oh, I'm gonna go get food and water and shelter. No, no, no. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is your only way out. Okay. It says, are we about to see attempts to terrorize us with a new demic and all that entails? And if so, are we really about to allow it? Well, you got no choice. You got no option. All right. It's biblical prophecy. Okay. People are gonna push back. They're gonna fight back. But ultimately, it's gonna be all hell breaking loose out here, man. All right, and most people are gonna take L's. All right, it says hopefully with the evidence of their potential practice run and being able to see those partaking in the role play sounding every bit as wooden acting their parts as our politicians have done in the last show, I can't imagine any of us will. All right, so there you have it. All right, the next thing, disease X. All right, look, spread of Clade X as of June 17, 2018. But like I said, we're going to look at it like June 17, 2024. Okay? You got Alaska, you got the US, you got some countries in Latin America, right? You got a couple of countries in Africa, right? North, uh, Western Asia right here. You got Western Asia right here. And then the bulk of Asia. Got a whole of Russia, China, India, all of them. All these countries. Again, it's coming from the east, stemming over to the west. Okay? But yeah, this is what's coming. Massive loss of life, economic collapse. So many different things. All right, and the Lord definitely, all right, has given that warning, man. He sent his prophets out here to give that warning. All right, so there'd be no excuses, man. If they're putting this shit out in your face and you still can't see it, see the secret council, right? Let's get this real quick. If you still can't see it, then hey, it is what it is. All right. There's the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Okay, so it is in their power of their hand, meaning that they have the ability to influence and to propagate whatever it is that they want to see on the scene. Okay, and it's all directed through Yahweh Shem Yahushai anyway, right? But they have it right here. That's the secret council. That's the workers of iniquity. All right, they do it in the dark, in the shadows, that nobody can see them. They don't allow newscasters to come in here who are independent, right? You have to be some form of, you got to work with CNN or MSNBC or Fox or whatever. If you're doing independent journalism, and you go up to these kind of meetings to ask questions, they look at you like, what the fuck? You go to Davos and you independent media, you walking around, you asking questions. As soon as they find out that you're independent, they be like, "Oh no, we're not talking to you. You can goodbye. You can be out." You know, what media are you representing? Oh, I'm independent. Oh no, they turn around and walk away. You know, yeah, but hey, man, this is it. All right, this is it. This might be my next topic to go into. All right, these devils. Look at this. Look at this. This is the face of evil right here. Look at this sinister look. And look at this guy. Woo. Hey, man. It's about to be lit very, very soon, man. Look at this. Look at this. All this shit right here. Something that is unknown, but yet they're preparing for it. Okay. We'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna leave it off there. Lord willing, your brothers and sisters who join me were edified. All right, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. And until next time, Shalom. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Brakatam, Shalom.